Hi guys, welcome to Ashish Academy. Now we are just going to discuss about the Maven build systems and the Maven concepts. So I guess we have already discussed in sometimes that for entire web development frameworks and the details. Now we are just going to discuss what is the requirement of a build system and the build concept. Then we will going to discuss about the Maven or maybe advantages over the end script basically. So, as the entire our web development or maybe this entire SDLC life cycle, so we already know that what are the different phases of the life cycle and then how we are starting from into software development life cycles for from this analysis, design, coding, testing, implementations, and then maybe a bug trackings like that. So that is everybody we follow. There are a different software engineering like models we do, and we follow that some of the models, and also we follow some other different processes in that. But when we talk about development, so basically if you're talking about development, so we generally start doing a development and we use some sort of a tools like Eclipse. We get the this source code or maybe our code from some of the central repository like that, any other CVS or SVN or ClearCase like that, where we maintain that particular you can say different branches and code and tree structure also for particular code, and we create a label for that particular day or so that we can do refer that correct code base. So every company follows that, right? Because if everybody is managing that or that maintaining the code base on the local system, it is very difficult to track it, and sometimes if you lose the code, it is you cannot recover it. Or if something you wanted to debug and trace it, then it is not possible, right? So that's why we get and we use that this central repository systems, right? CVS or SVN or ClearCase like that. So that is for source control majorly we say is the source control. But apart from that, and we that is the one thing. Apart from that, in source control, we checked in all our Java files, we checked in all our jars, we checked in all our XMLs and property files and everything. And definitely is a README and everything is available. So once somebody want to set up and then use that application and deploy it, we will get it that label from there, and through the label we will get that particular source code, and then we will start working on it. That is the basically a major the concept, and that is the basically process we follow it in the monolithic applications. But in the same process, so deployment, uh, before deployment, so basically deployment and the build, right? So when you are doing a source code on your local machine, you need to create a was or maybe a jars like that. Or if you want so if there is your particular application is in the different modules, you need to build that modules, and then so that build is sometimes is really pathetic. Apart from that, also when you wanted to do any other code review after that, or if you wanted to do any other task apart from the build is basically what is the build means when you are converting your source code into your some sort of a packaging, either into a jar or an ER. That is the concept is called as a build, right? Apart, so that is so when you are just packaging everything into a whatever, either in EAR or in JAS, that is basically come under the build. So there are n number of things which we need to think about it, how you are packaging. So there is a different type of packaging patterns is there. So how maybe in your architect team or maybe a senior management or technical person has categorized or moduled properly and then decided how you wanted to package these components. So these are basically that packaging is nothing but how you are when you are building something, where this particular component will go in which particular jar or an ER, something like that. So that is the basically come under the build. So when you are doing this build on the local system, so you need to have each and everything on your build system, and then you will build it. Or maybe in general in Eclipse we have a different type of you can say build a project, we do it, but still that project is getting compiled and clean, right? But you are converting, then you will exporting as a jar and var. right, in the Eclipse. But if you are talking on enterprise applications, so that we also need to have some kind of centralized process for building this entire packaging basically. So that is also, it's very much important. Why it is important? Because if somebody, if let's say multiple developers are working parallelly, and if you have any other particular development testing cycle, so you need to have a centralized build system and build process, where you will basically, everybody will check in the code into a source control, you will get the source control, and you will do a uniform build, and you will deploy in some certain place, right? So that taking the entire source code from that source control from that particular maybe repository, then if you want it, then you need to do the build, then you need to track the report, then you need to do run some sort of a test cases, or maybe some code review plugins you wanted to attach it, or any other things you wanted to do it. So that is has to be as a uniform process. That's why there is a continuous integration and continuous development came into a picture. So basically the people will do a continuously building it, some places they continuously doing the check-in, and then the build process will separately doing the build, and then test cases if you wanted to run some sort of a test cases, if you wanted to do code review, if you wanted to do checking the build properly running or not without any compilation or runtime error, these things are purely segregated here. So that is the basically an understanding, right? So for that, earlier days we use that end script, so we configure the end task, right? For end task you configure, and you can just define it how the end task will work it, and then where is that library, where how you will refer the libraries like that. So end basically we used it, but then we shifted into a Maven. So that is the basically is all about the build concepts, right? They definitely we will discuss about what are the drawbacks with the ends, and then why we moved into a ambient build script, but that is all about the Maven build. So that's why we had just started, and Maven is basically provided from the Apache community. So Maven was originally started as an attempt to similar as a build process in the Jakarta turbine project. So there were several projects, each with their own end build files, that there are slight different, that jars were checked into a CVS. We wanted a standard way to build the projects, a clear definition what the project consists of, an easy way to publish the project information, and way to share the jar across several projects. So basically there is a very uniform process and very clear definitions of the projects consist of what are the things is under this project, right? And then the information about the publishing of the projects, if that project is exported as a jar, so this jar has to be, the jar has to be shared with all other department or other project as a dependencies. So how you can do it? So for that then we need a uniform process. So what result is a tool that can now be used for building and managing a Java based projects. We hope that we have created something that will make a day-to-day work for a Java developers easier, and generally help the comprehensive of any Java project. So for this is the basically a requirement, right? For uniform build process, how, so whatever packaging or maybe that the build has been produced, either a jar or was, how you will share it across the different projects for using it, and how you can use it. So basically that is you need to understand it, right? So for that, that Maven has been introduced here, and it is provides a significant advantage. So and basically produces and created were able to create that particular jar or EAR or something like that. But if you wanted to publish the information, if you wanted to run some of the tasks, definitely end script is able to do it, but not in the very sophisticated way. That is also we will see, because when we will think about the central repository of a Maven, when we think about the local repository of a jar managements like that, that is we will see. So that is the Maven build system. So in local repository, so basically what is happening is we have some certain jars, right? For utility jars, if you are using some of the JAX fees like that. So till now we have seen that. So basically we have seen that the basically what is the requirement of a Maven and the build script. Now how Maven build works, and before that we also need to understand what is the different repositories. So basically there is a repository is nothing but there is a two things we can consider repository. One is the repository is for source control systems, that is also we can think about it, that is for source control for whatever the Java files we put it. Then there is a, here you will see in this diagram there is a local repository. This local repository is nothing but the repository which is basically containing the dependency jar dependencies. So what is the jar dependency? So you in your project there is a different libraries required for building your project. If you, apart from your Java, also you need some other APIs. Depends on your project requirement. If you are using any other logging, if you are using any other JXB, if you are using any other Spring, Hibernate, or any other libraries, if you are using it. So these libraries where if you are putting it something on your local, so that is basically a saying you're representing as a local repository. So local repository is nothing but a particular folder where you will keep that particular jar, that is come under the local repository. There are a remote repository and central repository. Central repository is Maven has also providing a online repository where you can find out the jars, and that is a very you can say verified jars are available there. So Maven will, when it is connected with the internet, it will connect to a central repository and download these jars, right? So download these jars from the central repository, and you can also create any other repository, say, right, for your own project purpose. So or maybe at the account level. So if you have, let's say in your account, let's say more than 10-12 projects are going on, all the projects want to use that uniform jars, so you can make that one particular repository for your all the projects inside your own company, so that you can something you can call as a nexus. So that is nothing but application which will basically maintain the jars and information and versions of a jar. So basically everybody knows that, okay, this is the version of a jar. Whatever custom code you have developed, or if you are using any other specialized jars also, and if you wanted to verify these jars, verified jars, so you can upload there, so that everybody, so there will not be any extra jars are available, and these jars are basically verified. And you can say there are some audit purpose also. Customers and companies generally verifying these jars for audit purpose. So you can also audited jars also you can put it there, so that everybody is uniformly using the jars. It is not like one developer are using any other version, other developers are using other version, then some of the people are using some other thing. So it is not like that. So that is the basically. So what is happening, and there is a pom.xml. So there is a project object model. So then one XML. So in XML, just like in NTScript, you will specify the different things like that, and using. So we basically run the pom.xml, and this pom.xml basically connect to a local repository or different repository which we specify there, and the build script will run it, and then it will generate it, the particular packaging whatever we have specified in that pom.xml, either it is a var, jar, or here whatever you want to packaging. So that is basically is all about the repository. So what we are doing it here, we are doing segregation of your source or maybe this Java code from that libraries and dependencies, and we keep it very sophisticated way into any other local folder where we can consider saying that it's a local repository. Or if you are putting into any other remote repository, so you can maintain the remote repository, and you can also get these jars from the central repository, that is a Maven central repository, and it is open to all. So why Maven? So Maven's primary goal is allow the development to comprehend the complete state of a development effort in the shortest period of time. So basically complete, so we can minimize the development effort, right? So that is the basically all about that goal of a Maven. In order to attain this goal, there are several area of concerns that Maven attempts to deal with. So these are majorly the areas where really Maven helping us. making the build process easy. That is, we already discussed how we can maintain, and then this build process can be easy. Either if you are talking about the consolidated build for all the developers, or if you wanted to build locally on your system. So providing a uniform build system. Uniform build system means for all the people will use the same build system or building the process for particular project, or also for consolidated build for your project wise, for if you wanted to promote it for QA testing or dev testing or any other, that is also you can. Providing a quality project information, so through that also you will get that quality information. Providing a guidelines for best practical development. So best practice development guidelines also Maven provides. So there are a different plugins are there. So Maven has so many plugins are there, and it is supported from a different vendors as well. So if you wanted to run just a simple example, so if you wanted to code review purpose, if you wanted to run, let's say Pinebug, or maybe a Sonar Cube, or maybe any other code review, or maybe scripting kind of checking that tool, so you can just use these plugins. These plugins will run that particular ambient command, and then it will generate the reports, and it will publish the report to everybody, saying that okay, this is the basically code review report for this particular project, and who is the owner who can look into it, right? So these plugins are, so everything is automated. You don't need to do anything, but once just you need to do some setup, and then you need to specify these plugins, allowing a transparent migrations to a new features. So there are so many features are available with the help of plugins and like that, right? And also there is a concept of a continuous CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous development. So in that case, you can set up that particular pipeline and the process for building or generating that var, then code review process and like that into your properly in your you can say Jenkins. So Jenkins is basically used for that. In other ways, now the DevOps technology came up into a picture with the support of cloud, but earlier days and still people are using the Jenkins. So Jenkins builds are basically in local system. If you wanted to just use it for, so then people are using the Jenkins with the Maven build. So it's specified that Maven task and that POMs, right? So that it will generate that particular jars or was like that, and then you run whatever other tasks you wanted to perform, like code review or publishing the code review comments, or any other errors you wanted to getting in the build script you wanted to circulate to other people. So that is, you can just do it, right? So Maven allows the project to build using its project object model, that is called as a POM. And generally each Maven project has a one POM.xml. You run the POM.xml, and then the output will be generated in the form of jar or var or whatever, as a set of plugins that are shared by all projects using the Maven, providing a uniform build system. Once you familiarize yourself with how one Maven project build, you automatically knows how all Maven projects build, saving it to you immense amount of time when trying to navigate many objects. So basically, if you are just developing a simple one Maven project, and you will generate that particular jar or maybe a war like that, then you will understand how much you can save the time, and it's a uniform way the build system. So that is the basically is all about. So providing a quality project information. So basically, that is, we already discussed, Maven provides a plenty of useful information that it is in part taken from the from POM, and in part generated from your project source. For example, Maven can provide the change log document created directly from the source control, cross-reference sources, mailing list, dependency list, unit test reports including the coverage. So basically, these are the information also. Either if you are talking about mailing list, dependency list means number of jars or whatever libraries you required it. Unit test report, let's say if you wanted to run a uniform test for your particular project, that is also you can integrate with Maven. It will be automatically, it will run it. So that is also that test coverage report will be generated and circulated to everybody through a mailing list like that. So as Maven improves, the information set provided will improve. So all of which will transparent to users of a Maven. So basically all the information will share to everybody and it will be very transparent. Other products can also provide Maven plugins to allow their setup project information alongside some of the standard information given by the Maven. So everything is basically all is still based on the POM. So through POM you can also circulate other information related to a particular project and the particular. So other products are also can provide Maven plugins. So there are a different product provides the plugins, right? As I told you that PMD, SonarQube, Feinberg. Then also there are so many vendors they provide the plugins through that we can circulate the we can use the plugin and we can use it on our Maven build and then we can circulate the information like. So that is the basically Maven flow. So here the reading the Maven pom.xml, right? So pom.xml's we have that build lifecycle where we have phases and goals. There is a dependencies jar entry. So how many dependencies you need to specify the particular, there is a dependency and jar name and jar version you need to specify as a library, which is the library you will use it for building your Java source code. So generally in Eclipse, we give it to into that build path, but in the pom.xml, you need to specify into a pom.xml or into Maven project, you need to specify into pom.xml. You need to give the build plugins and build profiles. And this dependencies either will get it from local repository or from central repository. So these jars will be getting from there. So when you are running this pom.xml, so you need to run the pom.xml, okay, as a build. So it will read the pom.xml, then download the dependency into a local repository. If you have already that jars are downloaded into a local repository, then it is okay. Otherwise, it will be downloaded from the central repository or other repositories. Execute lifecycle build phases and the goals, whatever build phases and the goals we have specified, that is will execute the plugins if we have specified the plugins there, all executed according to the selected build profile. So there are different things. There is a build profiles and goals. You need to specify the profiles and goals accordingly. That POM will work it out and then process it. So there is a 3-4 things you need to understand in the pom.xml. Basically, what is the meaning of the dependencies? And apart from that, you need to understand the life cycle, then what is the goals and what are the basically build profile. So 3-4 things you need to understand it here. So once we will go into a pom.xml detail, then also we will see what does that mean. You, as of now, you need to understand there is a repository which is basically referred for building that particular project. So these local repository you need to specify. Basically is .m2 in generally that folder you need to specify. Earlier days that is a part of the basically in local setup, right? So m2 home you need to set it up. That m2 home is basically not is .m2 folder which is basically created in your users C drive, and then where you can just, or maybe where you can also create that m2 folder in somewhere else and you can specify dot m2 you can say path into a M2 home or Maven home. That will be considered as that file where you, and also you can specify that in the M2 home you will specify that setting.xml. In setting.xml you will specify that some of the repositories and details. So that is also we will see when we'll see what is that particular local repository is referred there and what is the use of setting.xml. So there is the local setup required, or so basically what does local setup and how this local setup is basically getting referred when the particular project is getting built through a Maven. So providing a guidelines for best practices and development. So for example, specific execution and reporting a unit test are part of the normal build cycle using. So let's say if you are generating any other unit test report basically. So and you will generate the report for coverage. It is a 60% covered, 80% covered. So what is that coverage means? When you are running any JUnit test cases, it will provide that status if that JUnit is success or fail. If it is success, how much coverage, how much code has been covered through that particular JUnit. That is the basically report is generated. That is you can say consider as a coverage report. So keeping your test source code in a separate build parallel source tree, using the test case naming conventions to locate and execute the test cases. So basically, this is the information and guidelines which we can follow it for a testing purpose. Have a test cases set up their environment and don't rely on customizing the build for a test preparations. So basically, if you have, you will have a separate setup, right, for test cases, and it is not don't rely on the customizing the build for a test preparations. So these are basically how you can optimize and carefully and sophisticated you can run the test cases, generate the reports, and how you can segregate your source code from the particular test code, like that. So there are, these are the guidelines basically where Maven really help it to us. So as of now, as a just for starting point of a Maven, you don't need to go much into a deep, but you just keep a note of it. These are added advantages from the Maven. So allowing this transparent migration to new features, Maven provides an easy way for a Maven clients to update their installation so that they can take advantage of any changes that been made of a Maven itself. Installation of a new and updated plugins from the third parties of a Maven itself has been made travel for this CD. Okay. So Maven provides an easy way for a Maven clients to update their installations. For any other updates, Maven provides very easy way for updates any installation so that they can take advantages of any changes that has been made by the Maven itself. So migration is very much easy if you wanted to use or any other installation of a new plugins. So basically, as I told you, if you wanted to use any third-party integrations, like just simple example for code review or test cases or something like that. So that third-party plugins we use it. Then plugin we will integrate here in our form dot and then we will run it. So basically installation of new and updated plugins from the third parties or Maven itself has been made travel for this reason. So Maven make it easy for that if any you need to new or any plugin updates like that. So that is the basically major advantages here. So here that is the they wanted to say that migration is very much easy if you wanted to adopt any new changes which is made by the Maven itself. So you don't need to do so much changes and it will not to hamper your build process and it will not be making any other changes in your build cycle like that. So till now we have seen that how that is the basic flow, how that Maven is generated. It is very important flow is that it is reading the pom.xml, downloaded these dependencies and running that particular goals and then it will generate the jar or here was. That is the basically is all about.